Yeah, baby. 9 to 5 is shit. I know. This is why I started to be a professional dominatrix. So you want to try it, right? You're thinking maybe this is something I can do. This is something I would want to do. Okay. This video is for you. Let's break some myths. First thing is having realistic expectations. First of all, realistic expectations of what you're going to make. There are all kinds of articles online. There's all kinds of information online about dominatrixes making thousands, millions, 10,000 a month, 3,000 a week. All these numbers are on the internet. Everything is possible, right? I'm sure some women make millions, but you probably will not in the beginning, if ever, make millions. And not 10,000 euro a month. Probably not. Maybe you will. I don't know. You have to try it and you have to work hard. But this is not a magic pill. No, this is work. Per hour, yeah, you make more than you would in a normal job. For example, I charge 250 euro for an hour of playtime with me. And from that, I get to keep about 180. Because I have to pay rent. I'm not even talking about taxes. After taxes, after all of that, I get to keep about half. So I get to keep about maybe 90 euro. And I said per play hour. I didn't say per hour, per play hour. That means that I don't include the time that it takes to chat, to do the emails before and after, to do the pre-negotiation before, to get the client to the shower before and after, and to clean, of course, and to get ready, and to put on my makeup, and to put on my clothes and everything. So actually, for every hour that I play with the client, I think I work about 3 hours. So basically, I'm getting paid 30 euro an hour. That doesn't sound too crazy, right? That's not 250 euro an hour. Some people, when I tell them how much a session costs, 250 euro an hour, they start to calculate like I'm working 40-hour weeks. But I don't, of course. Thank goodness, because I could not do 40 play hours a week. I would die. It's not possible. And also, there are a lot of other dominatrixes. I only get booked as much as I get booked, you know. I don't take all the clients. I could work more. I could work a lot more than I do, but I would be burnt out. I've realized for myself that 2 or 3 days a week of working is great. I take maybe 2, 3 clients a day, something like that. And yeah, I have days where I make great money and some days not. But again, I've been working for 8 years. I have a lot of recurring clients. I have clients, most of my clients, I think now it's about 70 or 80% of my clients are recurring clients that I've gathered through the years. And this is why I'm telling you, if you start now, it's going to take a while for you to gather those clients. You're probably not going to get on the market and immediately stumble upon somebody who throws all this money at you. I have colleagues that work like me, like maybe 2-3 days a week and are fully booked. And I have colleagues that work once a month. You know, they have 1 session a month. So that's not a bad thing. Imagine you have another job and you make another 200, 300, 400 euro on the side. That's amazing. Just have a bit realistic expectations that you're not going to start off and immediately solve all your financial problems. And the reason why I'm saying this is because don't go online and buy now this amazing lingerie that you wanted, and because you're going to become a dominatrix and you really need this lingerie for the photo shoot. Oh, and by the way, don't book an expensive photo shoot and spend the rest of your money, what you got left, on this photo shoot because you're going to become an amazing dominatrix. Okay, don't do it. No. It's an awesome fantasy, but let's be realistic. and do step by step. You don't even know if you like it yet. So slowly. Second thing is realistic expectations about what the job really is. I've heard people telling me, oh, yeah, they buy you shoes and then you wear the shoes and they jerk off and then they give you money for wearing shoes. No, no. Oh, yeah, they come in and you spank them and then they go away and they give you money. Or, of course, financial domination, right? You don't even have to do anything, really. You just scream at them on the phone and they transfer you €1,000, right? No, 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 no. Look, of course it could happen. Of course, financial domination is a real thing, right? But don't go into this expecting that all you need to do is pick up the phone, be bitchy, and they're going to send you money. Don't expect that you only need to do is wear shoes. No. You have to do manual work. This is actual work. This is a fair exchange of a service with money. I mean, this is not a get rich quick thing. It's not a trick or anything. This is a real job. And if you are curious and think maybe I can do this job and maybe this job is better than another job, I'm there. I agree with you, right? I like this job. But yes, you will touch human man and you will touch man penis and you will stick your fingers in places and maybe there will be poo in those places, okay? And yeah, you're going to wear gloves and you're going to be safe and you're going to make sure everything is okay and the guy can clean before you touch them in all those places. But yeah, it is manual labor. You actually have to touch somebody, be close to them, smell them, look at them in the eye, have a contact with them. They are there for the physical experience. It's not just fantasy. It is also fantasy. It's a lot of things. Maybe 100 years ago, maybe even 40 years ago. Actually, I hear from all dominatrixes in Berlin, there were not so many dominatrixes. And so the slaves would come in and basically they would not even take off their clothes or anything. Like they would just get spanked. And the clients were so grateful because there was not so much out there. They were not, because there was not so much competition, the dominatrixes could do whatever they want. And also it was a bit of a different type of BDSM. It was a bit more of a cold BDSM. And now, because more people getting into BDSM, so there are more submissives that are interested in BDSM, it's really much broader spectrum. And there are more people that are interested in something more between BDSM and sexuality and vanilla. So you can't really get away with just not giving any ducks and just the client comes in and you just spank them and you spit on them and they go. You have to put in an effort because there's a lot of competition. Now, I'm not saying you have to do everything. I'm not saying you have to do from needles to intercourse. No, you do you. You choose what you do. But just let's be realistic. It's actual work. It's actual manual labor. There's actual things that you have to do. You have to have some skills, as I've talked before. Now, do you still want to try this after all this realistic expectations? Okay, amazing. I think you should. It's really fun. Like, if you would have half as much fun and make half as much money as I do, you go for it. Really, you should go for it because, it's pretty good, okay? So what to do next, how to start, and everything, right? Now, my personal suggestion, you can take courses, you can learn. The studio where I work, Studio Looks, they have an amazing course. It's a 3-day course, how to be a dominatrix, right? But what I would do first, before you spend any money on it and before you keep your hopes up that this is going to be the new thing you're going to do, What I would suggest is try it. Don't try it on your boyfriend or on, your lovers, but find somebody who's kind of a stranger or a friend of a friend or somebody you don't know that well and try to actually do a session. I tell you how I did it. I went to FetLife. You know FetLife, the website. It's like a Facebook for kinksters. And I went there and I found a munch. A munch is a gathering for kinky people in a cafe, in a public space. And you just go there. And I think at that meeting there were maybe 30 people. It was funny. I knew the waitress, and I told her, "Oh yeah, I'm with this group." And she looked at them and she looked at me. What is this, like an IT group? I was like, no. And then I looked at the table. I realized everybody was wearing glasses, all a bunch of geeks, right? So I had a great time. There are themed ones. You can go to Femdom Munch. You can go to Pet Play Munch. You can go to English speaking, German speaking Munch, whatever. So you just choose one and you go to it and you just chat around people. Now, believe you me, there's going to be a ton of guys that are submissive and are dying to be dominated by a woman. Because the majority of women don't want to dominate. They want to be submissive. Because we're lazy bitches. And we like things to be done to us. Yeah, me too. Hey, me too in private, for sure. You just talk around. Just get to know people. And use your sense. Use your sense, your intuition to find somebody that is not a psychopath and that is a submissive and that you can maybe try a first session with them. Easy peasy. So this is what I did. I found this guy. We're very lucky in Berlin. We have a lot of play spaces. So there was a really nice play space, which is like a dungeon, but it's like an open dungeon. They has a little bar and they have like a Sunday. It's amazing. I have a Sunday like cake and spank or something. And so Sunday there's like a bunch of homemade cakes and you just eat cakes. Everybody's very German and very fetishy with their fetish gear and you just eat your cake and drink a coffee and you go play. And the cool thing, it was a public space, so I felt safe. Now, if you don't have a public space to play, like a play party or something like that, look, at the end of the day, if you're going to do this job, you're going to be with another person in the same room, just the two of you. So I'm not like pushing you to do something that is risky, but use your intuition and yeah, you can meet this person in a hotel. They can pay for the hotel. You're doing it for free, right? You can meet this person if you trust them at their home or at your home. If you're meeting a stranger, there is a trick that you can do. You take the address of where you're going, including all the information. You send this to your best friend and you tell them, if I don't contact you by 7 or whatever time you're going to be done with the session, call the police. You do need somebody to make sure you're okay. So please do take precautions and please do be careful. I never had any issues, but I don't know where you live. I don't know what's the story. I can't tell you if you're going to meet a psychopath or not, okay? But yeah, I would say the only way to know if you can and if you want to do this is by trying it. I was shocked after the first time I did it, how good I was and how easy it was and how I enjoyed it and how I loved it when people thought it was hot, when other people were watching as well. It was just for me a test of, can I switch like this from being just normal me to being a dominatrix? Do I know what to do? Is this too awkward? Is this too gross? And I was shocked to find out that It was very natural for me. This gave me already this confidence that I can do it. If you've seen my video about how I became a dominatrix, then you saw that I actually started in a dominatrix studio. Not the one I'm in now, Studio Lux, which is a very high quality, amazing studio. I started in a place which was much cheaper. It was more kind of more casual. It was much more like a brothel than this high quality dominatrix studio. And for me, it was actually really great. It was much cheaper. I also earned much less, but I didn't care because it was either that or working in a bar, which I did not want to do.
No waitress, no barista, no curriculum, no vita. Amazon good chance.
And I still made like 60 euro an hour, which is what? I don't know, 6 times more than I would earn anywhere else. So I was super happy. I didn't have a problem with it. The advantage of it, that it was a bit cheaper and it was a bit less luxurious, was that I could test things out. The clients taught me everything, really. So I spent about 3 or 4 years in this other studio before I moved to this better, more luxurious studio. And I really felt like I could own what I'm doing. So for me, it was actually a great experience. Now, what you could do is either start by yourself. I don't know where you are in the world. Of course, the legality is very different everywhere in the world. Here in Germany, you can just put on an ad. There are all kinds of free or cheap ad portals. So that means you write a tiny little text. You think of a price, just look around and go for the average price. And you take some pictures. I'm sure you know how to take some selfies, baby. You've taken selfies before. A lot of them. You've taken a lot of selfies. Maybe you have some selfies right now that you could use. Something sexy, You don't need to buy the whole latex gear and the whole thing. No, just start. Just put a couple of pictures out there. Now, what you got to be careful is that if you look very young and very unexperienced, you will get a lot of idiots calling you. And they just want to harass you and waste your time. Okay? So it is good in the beginning to work with a studio, I would say. But if you're a tough cookie, you can handle it. One path would be to go full on independent. Now, if you do that, it is really good to find some colleagues, to find a sex worker organization around you. In Berlin, we have a few. We have Hydra Café, the Berufsverband, we have Swag. We have a lot of organization in Berlin, of course, because it's Berlin. But in every big city, you should have an organization of sex workers for sex workers. Or you can go on forums online and you can find colleagues and just talk to colleagues. And it's good to have people to connect with if you're going independent. Please don't do it by yourself. You need support. You need to talk to people and say, oh, this is my experience. And somebody else says, oh, for me too. Or, oh, that's not a problem. Do that and that. Or maybe in your city, if you are connected to people, then you know of the idiots. There's always a city idiot, a few of them, that keep harassing all the dominatrixes. And it's just easier if you know who they are, how they sound. Sometimes you can exchange numbers of clients that are, they're just time wasters. It's good to be connected. Don't do it all by yourself. In Berlin, we had a gathering once a month of sex workers, and this was for me extremely important. This is how I met some of the most inspiring colleagues that I know now. And this is how I got to work in Studio Lux, because I went to this gathering. So unite, sex workers, unite. Now, another option, if you don't want to work by yourself, which is probably a better option, it's easier for sure, is to find a brothel that has also BDSM or a dominatrix studio, if you have one. Now, these days, I think a lot of brothels also offer BDSM. It's a bit more easy to get into because you're a beginner. people that go to the brothel and want a session, they're not so, you don't need to be so experienced. You don't need to be so specific. They probably want something in between sex and session. Of course, you have to make sure that your limits are respected and that you can set your own boundaries. If you don't want to do intercourse or if you don't want to do oral and stuff like that, you have to make sure that that's okay. Then the third option is, of course, to study, to learn, to take a course, to get connected with some professional dominatrixes if you're living in a really big city that has this on offer. For example, in Berlin. If you're living in a smaller place, in a smaller city, more remote city, I would not be discouraged, because you could actually have a lot more work because there's a lot less competition. So actually it is maybe an advantage to be in a smaller place. You just have to make sure you're protected, that you have a community, and that you like what you do, that you like it. Now, after you've done that for a year or two, you can start having pictures, you can start putting a website online, you can have a special phone for clients, and it can develop, and you can raise your prices, and you can add more things that you do, and you can buy a lot more lingerie. So, good luck to you. I hope it was helpful, at least a little bit, and I recommend very much to be a professional dominatrix because it's fun if you like that kind of thing. Not for everybody, not for everybody. So let me know how it goes.